Hello, my name is Damon Flowers. I'm a third-year kinesiology major with a pre-med track from New Jersey, and I will start the discussion of our research project. My partners and I named our research project Adaptive Phenological Shift in Migration. So the first step that we were given were to research the different types of hawks that were given to us. My group and I researched some data about the different types of hawk during the fall season from one day of August to the end of December. From the information we collected from researching different sites and articles, we examined which birds were observed during the season. Majority of the birds that we researched were seen throughout the fall season, and some of them were not. Specifically, the unknown birds were the ones that were not seen at all during the fall season, so we didn't account for them in our project. One bird in particular we researched and observed were the red-tailed hawks. Based off our data, they were not consistent with their migration part. Some days they were seen and some days they weren't seen. From doing more research, it was concluded that the weather and atmosphere made a huge impact on the hawks' migration. Red-tailed hawks were seen migrating to their new habitat during the fall season, meaning during the colder season, during the wintertime, they migrated to somewhere warmer to find new shelter, somewhere warm they can adapt to find animals that they can survive off of. Based off our information, my group and I came up with a research question that we wanted to find answers about. So our research question was, is there a phenological pattern of bird of prey of migration? From doing our research, we came to a conclusion that migration of age and sex has been observed with several raptor species, especially red-tailed hawks. So this means that the red-tailed hawks had two distinct peaks of migration, one in mid-September and a second in mid-November. In contrast, the number of migrating adults increased through mid-November and declined thereafter, resulting that adult female birds migrating were earlier than adult males, and the mean passage date for both sexes much later than documented other than hawks in the watch sites.
Okay, as you can see, we have our results here. Here is where we listed our species. And these are all the species that were used during the experiment. Down here is where we have calculated Jacquard's similarity index and Sorensen's similarity index. Jacquard's index was used to test the relationship between each bird throughout all 4 months, where Sorensen's index was used to calculate the comparison to test the abundance of each bird through all 4 months. Next, we have our discussion where we discuss the richness, abundance, and frequency and the proportion, where you see these graphs here. Here is where we have our richness, which tests how many birds were documented on each day of all 3 months. We didn't know October because October only had 1 day and that was not enough information to go off of. But you see that October here has the most birds that we're seeing because we noticed that October is a transitioning month for climate between September and November, where it's not too hot or not too cold. Next, down here, we have the abundance, which shows the exact numbers of birds for each species seen throughout the month. And again, we notice that the middle month, October, is where a majority of the species were seen. Down here, we have the frequency occurrence, which shows the number of times each species was recorded for each month. And you see that, again, the red line, which was October, was seen the most. Now, for the proportion, you would notice that September is bigger than October. When all this data, October was greater. September is bigger simply because there was more of one species. Actually, there was more of 2 species seen than all the rest of the species, so which made the number greater. October has a more diverse level of species, so there were basically all of the species, almost all of the species were seen, but it might not have been over 50 or over 1,000. Where September, there were 2 species that were seen over 1,000 times, which makes September seem greatly more. Okay, that's it.
Hi, my name is Kerimayaa Turner. I'm in the group with Devin and Lauren. I want to start off by apologizing if I pronounce some of the words incorrectly. I have braces and they got tightened today, so my mouth is very sore. So first, I'm gonna start off by explaining the method data and how we did it. So in the method for the collection of the data, the way we did it was that we went to the rubric and we read through it, and we asked each one who wanted to do which month, so we can break it down and be easier. Then we set it up by one person in the group selecting an Excel sheet to share, so you can see everyone's data that they're putting in, just in case anyone needs help. You can see what they're working on and how far they have gotten. Sorry. The purpose of the annotation is to provide the reader with a summary and the elevation of each source. Each summary should be consists of an explosion of the source central idea, and it gives the reader a general idea of the source content. It also shows how to set up properly in the correct format. So, for example, here is one of the sources I found in the individually. Sorry, I'm gonna say this so wrong. Scandalai is SCANDINVAVICA. So SCANDINVAVICA. And basically the journal of that, and we have a graph on our poster that we turned in that shows all of our results and the numbers that we came up with through the charts, basically. On our abstract overall, we basically presented a mathematical, mathematical, I'm just go with that, sorry again, framework that combines, instance, colorizations, it basically explains. And we have a table of diversity, and we have a result chart that shows everything. We have a pie chart as well that shows the difference. As well as our research question is there a phenomenological pattern of birds of a prey immigration? And I believe that we do, based on our information that we receive. And again, like I said, on our charts and everything, it basically proves and answers that question for you by looking at it. Because it goes off all the animals and the difference between each month from September to October and November. And if you look at the chart, you can see how it increases and decreases throughout each month, and how one number basically changes more compared to, like, for example, like October increases more compared to how September and November. So it's like October increases, and then you have basically November and then September. So it's like if you put them in order, it goes basically all over the place, if that makes sense. Furthermore, like I explained earlier or a couple minutes ago, all of our charts, basically, you can see it for yourself, and it explains and answers the question for the patterns. You do see the how it connects and the difference in it and how it all goes together.